Guardians Live is brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Boy, did the Guardians need to go a little extra here tonight, Tabby, as they get it done in 11 innings, 4-2 the final as they even up the series. Scott Barlow with an unbelievable job with the bases loaded in less than 2 outs to win. Nick Sandlin gets his first save. Hi again, everybody. Pat Tabler, Jensen Lewis with you. This one looked like this was going to be one for the pitch clock record books, the way it was going between Bibee and Morton. All of a sudden, the bullpens come in, the offenses come to life. But the Guardians outlast the Braves, and they even up this series.
Pitchers duel through 7 innings. Then you show up in the building, and everything breaks loose, and it goes crazy. We can talk for an hour about everything that happened in the ball game tonight. We saw pitching, we saw defense, we saw clutch hitting, we saw just a little bit of everything. I can't wait to break this one down.
Yeah, well, let's start with the 8th inning, because that's really where the action began, and it really was one with not only the offense is getting it going, but it was 2-2. Fast forward to the 11th inning. Josh Naylor, the go-ahead RBI double that would put Cleveland ahead 3-2.
Well, if you choose not to pitch to Jose Ramirez, they walked him in front of Josh Naylor. He's been doing it all season long. He comes through yet again with another big base hit down the right field line, really setting the tone for that whole inning.
That was spectacular. And again, the right guy in the right spot. And Josh Naylor standing by back at Truist Park with Andre Knott.
Back to you guys.
For a guy that doesn't like to get doused with stuff, that's a good celebration to have. And again, let's reiterate that if you joined this one late, you really didn't miss too much. So we'll go back to the 8th inning. Charlie Morton, stellar 7 innings for Atlanta. But enter Joe Jimenez, Tabby, and all they needed to do was put the ball in play. It was apparent that they found a way to not only hit the ball in the infield, but create some run-scoring opportunities.
At the end of this inning, the Guardians had 7 hits, 5 of them infield hits. Put the ball in play, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, they got a little bit lucky on some of these hits where they just found a hole. This was the key play right here.
Yeah, Jose Ramirez being able to leg that one out, that allows the run to come across. So a fielder's choice RBI. And then the rarely seen, highly effective double steal here. Great heads-up base running by Steven Kwan to get the second run across.
I thought on Thursday they tried to steal a run against the Boston Red Sox. That's when Reese McGuire dropped the ball. Stephen Vogt's going to play for another run. They executed the double steal perfectly to steal a run that looked like it was going to be a game winner.
Guardians' box score was empty up till that point, but they found a way, as Tabby talked about, to try and manufacture some runs without hitting the ball out of the infield. So Kwani, another couple of hits. Andres Jimenez, again, you saw what he was able to do just putting the ball in play. So 2 runs there for the Guardians. Enter Hunter Gaddis, an opportunity for him to continue a stellar start back in his hometown there in Atlanta.
Yes.
But boy, oh boy, these are the Atlanta Braves for a reason.
I love my chances. I thought he made some really good pitches, but the Atlanta Braves, they know how to play in big situations at home. Travis d'Arnaud with the ball, a chalk ball down the right field line, and then this one right here just falls out of the play, but they don't give up. They just keep playing hard, and they eventually tied the ball game up and got the runner at the plate. I don't know why they sent that runner right there. You flip the lineup over again right there, but they sent the runner to the advantage of the Guardians.
Yeah, all right, so now 2-2 is the score. It would stay that way as we head to extra frames, so get to the bottom of the 10th. Scott Barlow was tasked with being able to try and keep the Guardians in range to be able to send this to the 11th. I'll tell you what, I had heart palpitations for him, knowing that this was bases loaded, Tabby, and you've got the meat of a possibility for the Braves to win this.
One of their better hitters right here, Michael Harris, swings at the first pitch. He gets a breaking ball from Barlow and a little bit too anxious, the comebacker, and then young Trump had no chance to get that ball right there. Just spin a bunch of breaking balls, and he finds his way out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation. You knew when he came into the dugout, Guardians were going to win after that, right?
It was a Houdini act, and again, for Scott Barlow, who we knew was going to throw a lot of breaking balls in that situation, the execution, a huge part of why the Guardians were able to even up this series, winning 4-2 in 11. Gotta love where this team is at. The momentum is really good, and we'll see what happens in the series finale tomorrow.
Here's what I like about the game tonight. You know, we talked about the pitchers duel, but the never say die attitude from this team. You know, even when they were behind and they were able to come back, there were 41,000 people there. It felt like a playoff situation the later they went into it, but this team found a way again to do it. We've been talking about it. Best road team in baseball does it again.
And the back end of the bullpen was huge for this one. Guardians win it 4-2. We'll hear from the manager, Stephen Vogt, when we come back, plus some more highlights and analysis. That man right there, the guy you want up with the game on the line, the go-ahead RBI double and extra frames. And the Guardians add on another to win it 4-2.
It was a beautiful baseball game tonight.
Good stuff right there from manager Stephen Vogt. Tabby, we've seen way back in the 90s a lot of Atlanta Braves rotation mates go out and just flat out dominate lineups. Well, Tanner Bybee comes into tonight, gets the first starting effort to go 7 innings or more for the Guardians all year. 9 strikeouts, no walks. He was unhittable tonight.
We were talking in the pregame about the Atlanta Braves, that they had led Major League Baseball coming into this game with a .282 team batting average. And you know better than anybody, good pitching stops good hitting. Take a look at some of these pitches. He was living on the edges. I thought he had his best breaking ball. He was compact, he was under control, and he was painting and pitching all night long.
He was phenomenal. He's now tied with Matt Harvey for the most outings. That's 27 of them, with 5 or more innings pitched and 3 or fewer runs allowed in his first 31 Major League games. You see the stat line right there. Just flat out command of 3 to 4 pitches, second and third time through the lineup. That's as good as you can ask for.
Yeah, it is.
Both teams came into tonight a perfect 3-0 in extra innings. One team remains. That's the Guardians as they win 4-2. In 11 innings at Truist Park, setting up the rubber match tomorrow afternoon. Our bet MGM against the spread. Tabby, if you had the Guardians plus 1.5, nice job. Money line, even better. And the under, boy, you were sweating that there in the 8th inning and beyond.
8th inning, I thought that was that was a winner for sure, or not. And then all of a sudden, it just busted loose. So if you went over, good for you.
We thank Nick Salen for not allowing that over to hit. We have a chance to catch up with him right now back at the Guardians clubhouse.
It could be anyone late in the game, especially after we get through, a couple of the main guys who pitch, in late in games. So just a matter of, just like every game, staying ready for any situation.
11 pitches for Nick Salen. He picks up his first save of 2024. And Tabby, again, this is a credit to Stephen Vogt, because all these guys know that they have opportunities to pitch in leverage situations. You didn't see any of those guys. Maybe Gaddis, though, coming home. Obviously, the heart beat up a little bit, but didn't really see the moment be too big for a lot of these guys.
Boy, it's so tough for Sandlin in that situation. You've got the tying run to the plate, with the man for man now in extra innings, and you got the top of the lineup. What do the coaches always tell you? Get the first guy. He gets Ronald Acuna to ground out. And then the pitch sequence against Albies, 3-1, he falls behind. 2 split changes to get rid of him. Game was over at that point for me.
Yeah, it was an incredible sequence. Also an incredible sequence. We go back to the 4th inning because defense played a huge part in keeping both teams off the board, particularly here, Tabby, in the 4th inning. Not really sure what was happening down here at first base, but as you said, get the first out. He stops the runner and he gives the ball up early.
That's what you want. You want to stop the runner, get rid of the ball as soon as possible, and then the 2 infielders, Arias and Ramirez, close the gap so they only have to make 1 throw. You do that, those runners are not going to advance. Olsen thought there was going to be a little back and forth between those two, but it didn't happen because they pulled it off perfectly, just 1 throw, and then the heads-up play again from Jose Ramirez to catch that runner rounding first base to get a double play and help Bybee again in the 4th inning. Just beautiful defense.
And Jose making the throw on the run.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah,
made it look
easy.
Who else made it look easy tonight? That's Tanner Bybee. The 3rd inning was a master class, Tabby, as he went and punched out the side.
He punched out the side, but again, watch where all of these pitches are. Those are unhittable pitches. Take it from a hitter, you're not going to hit this. Your best hope is maybe I can foul some of these things off. His slider was diving under the bats of the left-handers. Watch this. It's a strike, then it's out of the strike zone. Unhittable. You just forget about it. You got no chance. And that's what I like about him. Nothing was in the middle of the plate. He was changing speeds beautifully, living on the edges. And when you've got this type of lineup that you're facing, the Atlanta Braves, you know you've got to dial in your A game. And I thought he did for 7 innings with his 9 punch-outs. Again, changing speed, keeping them off balance, and then finish off some of these best hitters.
You and I know as well from watching a lot of very good lineups, what do you do to try and make them uncomfortable at the plate? First and foremost, you have to be able to pitch inside or at least change eye level. Tanner Bybee did that tonight. What else do you have to do? Pitch backwards second and third time through. Almost a flawless outing night, only the 2 hits surrendered, but 9 strikeouts against no walks.
And great command. He's thrown the ball where he needed to throw it.
It was fun to watch. All right, let's hear from Tanner right now as we head back to the Guardians clubhouse.
So I think that was just kind of our game plan going into the game, and we executed it. I mean, kudos to Bo. I mean, wouldn't have this success without him.
7 innings of shutout baseball tonight, Tabby, but more impressively, on the road. How about this year in 4 starts away from Progressive Field? Scintillating statistics right now.
Yeah, and winning on the road is so important, and you got to get great pitching, and he has done that. He seems to be getting on a roll. We talked about it in the pregame show. His last 3 starts now, he has faced 65 batters. He's only given up 16 base runners, just 2 tonight.
Yeah, and sometimes when you see a guy walk through and knowing that starter that's on the mound that day after a team loss, all of a sudden you pin your ears back and say, hey, boys, let's go get him. That's what the Guardians did
Get on my
tonight.
back. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm going to lead us today.
It was fun to watch.
All right,
momentum changer for sure, and that also changed the way that this series now looks as we will head to the rubber match tomorrow afternoon. 1:35 is the first pitch. It'll be another good pitching matchup here as Ben Lively, who has pitched really well for Cleveland, he will oppose Bryce Elder, who last year was a godsend for this Atlanta rotation.
Yeah, but not so much this year. Ben Lively, last start, pound the strike zone, pound the strike zone. I think he has to have the same mentality against this Atlanta Brave team. Pound that strike zone, you'll be fine.
All right, we'll see what the Guardians offense has in store. Some early offense perhaps, and we'll have Ben Lively on the bump. That's it for us tonight. For Mike Bachman, who produced it, for Dan Larson, who directed it, that's Pat Tabler on the opposite side of me. I'm Jensen Lewis. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. A chance to win the series at Truist Park, where it's really tough. And a lot of good teams have gone down there. Excited to see what this Guardian offense has in store. The Cardiac Kids, I almost said Cardiac, but they should be. That's it. Guardians a winner, 4-2 in extra innings. We'll see you all tomorrow afternoon.